real life events got me to become a gold and silver bug. So ever since then, I don't save. I refuse to. I save gold and silver, which are God's money. God's money has been here since the earth was formed. So I'm very happy to bring to the show today E.B. Tucker. He's written a fantastic book. It's called Why Gold, Why Now? And the reason I say it's a fantastic book is what the book does. It summarizes gold, why it is God's money, why it's more important today than ever before, especially with silver, gold, and now Bitcoin. And I also started a gold mine in China. They took that. And I started a silver mine in South America. I still have that one. I've been a gold and silver nut for a long time. So when I read Why Money, Why Gold, Why Now, I said, this is the perfect book for somebody who really wants to find out how you're being screwed. I mean, now what's real and what's fake? And the US dollar is as fake as it comes. So with that, E.B. Tucker, congratulations on a great book. I understand you wrote it in like 30 days or 20 days.
23 days.
Yeah, it's extremely well written. I mean, simple, clear, to the point, no fluff. So thank you very much. So what is your background? What gets you interested in gold?
It's in the book. I talk about how I first got interested at $300 an ounce. I remember saying to my father, "Get an ounce of gold," and he's like, "Why would you want that? What are you going to do? Buy groceries with that? I mean, it's functionally irrelevant."
2000, right?
2000, yeah.
Right.
And so I really thought about it, and I did not buy it. And then about 2 years later, a friend was buying Krugerrands, and I similar to you, I held the Krugerrand, and it was mesmerizing. And I saw the price going from 400, 450, 500, and I thought, why is this happening? And you talk about silver. This is a silver note. Remember, the dollars used to be exchangeable for an ounce of silver, and they also had a gold note. This was $20 for an ounce of gold. Nothing has happened to gold over the years. It's only the money. And the subtitle of the book is The War Against Your Wealth and How to Win It. Right. And the only regret I have about the book, Robert, is I should have called the book The War Against Your Wealth, because people have all these misconceptions about gold. Because in the media, they talk negatively about gold because gold needs to stay down in order to keep faith in the dollar high. So if you question the dollar, you'll say, why am I doing any of these things? I mean, you wrote an incredible book that impacted me in the 90s, which is when I was starting in my career. I'm not quite as young as I look. I wonder if you wrote that book today, maybe Poor Dad would be the smart one, because the Fed is trying to get you to do things that go against some of the things that you and I were fond of in the 90s, right? There's not a lot of point in saving if you get no interest and you lose 5% a year to inflation. I mean, you start looking at the system that we live in, and the war is against your wealth. And that's what we want people to see.
Right. It really is a war against your wealth. And then,
you got to know what to do. You got to know how to win this war, right? I mean, we're not just in a Vietnam quagmire, right? We want to actually win this. And what we want to show people is that if you see what's happening, you can get ahead of this. You can see where this is going.
And the best thing right now is, we have this war between Bitcoin. We have Peter Schiff on one side and Max Kaiser on the other side for Bitcoin. It's a food fight. And it's silver, gold, and I shifted to Bitcoin. I still bought as much gold as I'm still buying gold. I bought some the other day because this guy had some 10-ounce bars where kilos come in, and they're hard to get. I mean, it's really hard to get.
That's right.
And it's getting hard. I couldn't even buy silver the other day. I mean, this is 2021.
Well, what does that tell you?
Supplies are gone.
That's right.
And that's prices.
Yeah, they don't understand how this works, Robert. So imagine if you go to McDonald's and there's a dollar menu, and they say you can get this item for $1. You order the item, and they say it'll be $3.50. Wait a minute. I thought it was $1. Yeah, that's right. That's the price. But if you want one, it's $3.50. That's how it works with gold. The price is $1,800. Oh, I'd like to have an ounce. Okay, it'll be $2,000. Well, wait a minute. I don't understand. And you got to wait 2 months for it. So why is the price $1,800? Well, that's just the price because we're able to financially engineer the futures market to keep the price low. But if you actually want an ounce, it's much more.
And then there was this huge war between, Robinhood, Reddit against GameStop. And the little guys kind of won, but they got their asses kicked. They tried it with silver and they couldn't do it because that's real money. Silver and gold are God's money. They couldn't mess with the market because the big producers out of the comics and, Tesla, Apple, Toshiba, Microsoft, all these guys who use silver kept the price suppressed. Now,
well, for specifics, just to back you up so you don't sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, they traded 1.7 times the annual supply of silver in one day in order to keep the price down.
Idiots out there saving US dollars or pesos or yen or euro, get E.B. Tucker's book, Why Gold, Why Now? Because you're getting screwed. I mean, like when people argue about gold over Bitcoin, I just quote, Yogi Berra. When you come to the fork in the road, take all three. I have all three. And right now I'm high on silver because it's the most suppressed. It's 50% below its all-time high yet. That's how they've manipulated the market. And what I liked about your book, you explain how it's manipulated. So can you give a quick scenarios how they keep the price manipulated?
When you see the price of silver trade, like on this Bloomberg screen behind me, you're not actually seeing the physical price of silver. You're seeing a contract for future silver delivery, which will never happen. It will be settled in dollars. And so the guys in New York are able to sell an unlimited amount of those contracts into the market and settle those in dollars. It's called the futures market. You don't see this with copper, which is at an all-time high. It's been running all year because we're experiencing big inflation. You don't see this with lumber. Have you bought a 2x4 recently? I have. The price is doubled. So all of the things that we buy that we need are going up in price, but the metals are different because it's in the government's best interest to keep the price down. And so you create financial products called futures that you're able to unload into the market to keep the price down. That's creating a difference between the gold price and other commodities. It distracts people. Now, Bitcoin is, to your point, is great, but Bitcoin is not digital gold because gold is not physical Bitcoin. These two things are not interchangeable. They're very different. People ask all the time, should I buy one or the other? It's not like that. That's not the case. These are two very different things and they should be looked at differently. We talk in the book, as you know, in part 3 about how Bitcoin was created. And we have a theory behind who might have created it, which I don't think many people, go into, and they'll see that in the book. But this is a very different asset. This is not the same thing as gold.
That's correct. The most important thing is you want to know the differences between silver and gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And then you can make a more logical decision. And then, I caught hell the other day and said, how can you buy Bitcoin at $50,000? I said, I didn't buy it at $50,000.